Hey guys, Octane Restorations. Let's go ahead and let's get this stupid starter back in this thing. So, it's gonna be a fun day today. As you saw in the removal video, this isn't fun. My hands are too big, there's too many wires. But hopefully it'll be easier than the removal. I'm trying to do this in the exact reverse order of me taking it out. So I'm going ahead and screwing on some of these terminal connections, because you won't be able to screw them on if you install the starter. Like, there's just not enough room there, so you got to install these before you install the starter. And remember, the starter does have teeth, so if your starter's not feeling like it's setting right, then it's probably not. You're probably hitting your starter teeth on the teeth of the motor. So what I did in the other video is I engaged the reverse, and I would just move the back wheel. The reverse system on these Honda GL1500s go off of the starter motor, so that's why I did that. I do grease all of my electrical connections. Just aids in the prevention of corrosion if you apply some grease on there. Like, I just use a simple disc and brake grease. It'll just displace moisture, displace corrosion. I like disc and brake grease because it is pretty tacky, which, you know, on the downside, if you're using it on battery terminals, it'll like attract dirt. But on the bright side, it's just the outside that's getting dirty. It's actually protecting your terminals from moisture, dirt. It's creating a nice water barrier. But it does get everywhere. If you're using grease like that, by the end of it, your entire motorcycle is going to be covered. But so we just put those on, and now we're the fun process of lining it up. That back bolt is the hardest to get started because, you know, you got to use a wobble socket to get to it, and at the same time you don't want to cross thread it. So I was able to get it, but it was pretty difficult. I'm just starting on all these bolts, but I'm not tightening them all the way because the teeth aren't in the right spot. So what I'll do is I'll engage the starter motor and rotate the tires like I said earlier. But I'm just getting all the bolts in, and then I'll tighten them whenever I get the teeth aligned. So right here, I'm going to pull the reverse lever, as you can see right there. And this will engage the rear tire with the starter motor. And then I'm just going to rotate the tire. There's no scientific way of rotating the tire a certain amount, but I would just rotate it, and if I felt like the teeth weren't aligned, then I would rotate it just a tad more, and it ended up working out pretty well. So just get all your sockets and tighten those 3 bolts back. I'm trying a new deal where instead of it takes time-lapse pictures, it's just sped up videos, so that way you can hear the tools and everything. If y'all like that, let me know. If y'all just would rather the time-lapse without hearing the tools, just leave a comment, let me know. Now we have to put that little bracket back in, since we got the starter on. And we got all those electrical connections that we have to remake. Hopefully you remember where everything went, or you took pictures.
I can tell you're a little bit restless. I can tell that you wanna be tested. I am the one you've been waiting for. They call me the best. They call me the hurricane. They call me the best. They call me the hurricane. We'll have the best time ever. The best time ever. The best time you've ever had. We'll have the best time ever. The best time ever. The best time you've ever had. I can see, honey, what you're waiting for. I can see, honey, what you're waiting for. I can see, honey, acting kinda funny. I can see, honey, and don't you want me? I can see, honey, what you're waiting for. I can see, honey, what you're waiting for. Oh, I can see, honey, acting kinda funny. I can see, honey, and don't you want me? They call me the best. They call me the hurricane. They call me the best. They call me the hurricane. We'll have the best time ever. The best time ever. The best time you've ever had. We'll have the best time ever. The best time ever. The best time you've ever had.
The starter sounds fine, but something doesn't sound right. Kind of sounds like it doesn't have any compression. So, next episode, we're going to be diagnosing it and then tearing it down and seeing what's going wrong. This is Octane Restorations. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. You know, it really does help out the channel. I've got the rest of this build on my YouTube, so if you want to see that, this is the 1988 GL1500 Part 14.